Hey everyone, welcome back to Swooning Over Stands with me, Tabitha. If you remember from last time, we got to the end of Stan's routes, and then we set up for Ford's route, so we are just gonna get straight in to Stanford Pines' route. Here we go. We are going to get to know Ford instead of checking on her car, because that's what we did the last time. Ford, wait, need a hand with that recipe? I can handle it myself. Are you sure you couldn't use a hand? Ford looks away, then... I can't. I had a long day at work, guys. Ford looks away then, and you follow his averted line of sight to Mabel, who's just mouthed something that you couldn't catch. When she catches you looking her way, Mabel gives you a 100-watt smile, the picture of innocence. Ford rubs the back of his neck. Yes, I suppose I can accept some help. And with that, assured that Ford is on the task, you spot Mabel rolling away with Waddles into the living room. Before we get started, I suppose I should give you an introduction. Sherry, tell me, do you believe in the supernatural? Yeah, outside of Gravity Falls, yeah, I believe in the spookums and the bumps and the nights and stuff, yeah. They're impossible to prove, but I believe in them. Well, you're about to come face to face with the unexplainable yourself. I just said I did, man. You see, Gravity Falls isn't some quiet, unassuming backwater town. Much more lurks below its surface. Ford pockets the crumpled journal papers and gestures for you to join him as he walks. You do, and follow him through the living room and into the gift shop. For example, you must have heard Mabel mention a... I almost said pterodactyl. Mention a pterodactyl. Most say none exist in the living world today, but I say not if you know where to look. Ford reaches under the cashier counter and retrieves a packet of vintage-looking gum, inspecting it for a moment before slipping it in his pocket. He looks around in thought. Bro, what in the MacGyver? Hold on to my explanation for the moment. I need to retrieve some more supplies. What in the MacGyver? What in the MacGyver? Ford ushers you out of the gift shop entrance so that you find yourself on the outside of the shack, then shuts the door behind you. Alright. I really want to look through the window. Man just, shoved me out the door, yeah, I gotta go get some supplies. See ya, shove, I'm gonna look through the window. The glass is dirty enough that the sunlight hitting it obscures your vision of the room within. You catch a gray and tan blurry figure that must be Ford at the far wall. You lean in too close and have to step back before you leave a conspicuous handprint on the window pane. When you look back in, Ford is gone. You turn back around. You're just going to stand out here until Ford returns. What a sucky. Clean your windows. Not too long later, the door opens behind you and Ford joins you outside, looking no different than before. He must have stored whatever supplies he went to retrieve in his coat, but the trench coat falls too naturally on his figure for him to be hiding much. Are we making explosives out of bubblegum and paper clips? Where were we? Yes. Ford pulls a pen and a pad of paper from his coat, walking as he writes. Just as you're about to head out, he stops and smacks his hand to his face. Oh shoot, 1 second. Ford hurries back to the house, realizing he forgot one important component to this adventure. A butterfly net. Before you get a chance to ask, he strides out ahead of you, obviously in no mind to tell you what it's for quite yet. My man, my dude, my guy. The pair of you walk past the shack and down a well-worn path into the trees surrounding the house, sunlight peeking between the pines. He double-checks whatever he scribbled onto the paper and tucks it back into one of his coat's seemingly infinite pockets. He stops and turns to face you with a definitive nod. My recipe for repellent called for a sprig of lavender, 2 thin slices of ginseng, a drop of bat blood, a chunk of amber, and 3.5 millimeters of ink. I said millimeters, it's milliliters. I'm Canadian, I'm so dumb. I mean, it's fine. He pauses, staring down at the path in thought. Obviously, I already have all those components on hand, all except for one last ingredient, a single moth swing. I don't like moths, dude. That's for Mothman itself. Wait, what? No, go back. How do I go back? Go back. Back. A single moth swing from Mothman itself. You just taking a knife and just being like, hold still, Mothman, while I remove your ability to fly. What? 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 You can't help it. You gasp. Ford glances at you, and you think you see a hint of a smile before he turns back to the path and continues along, wind ruffling through his hair. You see, Mothman is the very creature on that page that Waddles seems to fear. Using a piece of itself should ward it away, or at least lead it to believe that Waddles isn't for eating. I would have already completed the repellent years ago if I had managed to collect that wing. Was it too difficult? Oh, I just never got around to it. Besides, Mothman used to come bat at this lamp I had lit out in the backyard. It seemed like such an innocent hobby that I never had the heart to chase it off. What? But if this brings Mabel and her pig a peace of mind, then the time has come to finish this. What? Just fist fight Mothman at this point, man. Just fist fight the Mothman in the Denny's parking lot. What? Sunlight filters in through the trees, causing dappled shadows across Ford's coat as he leads in front of you. Break the silence? How do you know so much about this stuff, man? I study anomalies, anything unusual, strange, and just plain weird. I began my research in this town because it was, and remains, a hotbed of paranormal activity. I made this exact trip years ago, though at the time I had no idea where I was going. It was just dumb luck that I managed to tail Mothman back to its cave from my backyard. Navigating the forest by moonlight is poetic, but not advisable. I made plenty of other discoveries as well, from fairies to gnomes to amalgams of creatures who were never meant to cross to... Oh wait, I got something in my eye. The anomalies are coming for me because I'm laughing at Stanford Pines too much. Oh god. Oh man, that's so funny. Ford reaches into his pocket and pulls out the slightly crumpled pages Mabel had pushed into his hand earlier, smoothing them out and shuffling through them. Take a look at these. They're more definitive proof than just my word. You accept the pages from him and find they're scanned pages from some sort of journal, just as you've heard Mabel say. Fluid cursive tells of Mothman, beard cubs, campfires, and more. Ford gestures to them and explains. I detailed my discoveries in a series of research journals, the remaining pages, at least. I wonder where Stanley was keeping these. I kind of want to comment on his art, because, like, anytime I, like, see someone's art, I'm like, oh my god, did you do this? Like, again, you can't see it, because it's on the wall, it's, like, over here. Anyways, I have something that my best friend drew in... It's too far away, I can't tell, but it's from, like, grade... I want to say it's, like, grade 8 or grade 7. It's been on my wall the whole time. Like, as soon as she was like, oh, I'm gonna throw it, I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep this, and it's been on my wall since the entire time. It's moved a couple times, but, like, it just lives on my wall. She didn't even draw it for me. I was just like, hey, you're not keeping that? I'll keep it. I have a problem with art, man. You drew these? Yes, of course. Who else? I've seen the better. Okay, so the options are, they're so photorealistic. I love your line work. These ink washes look so masterfully executed. Give an ambiguous nod of acknowledgement. I've seen better. Honestly, I'd probably say something about the line work of the ink washes. The photorealistic, smoto-realistic. Like, I don't know what any of these things look like, so the realism isn't for me to decide. Like, for all I know, it's not that realistic. I don't know. But, like, if you look in the journal, although he doesn't really use ink washes in the journal. He uses, like, cross-hatching and stuff. I'm just gonna do ink washes. My work now is far better, but I appreciate the compliment. Despite his understated words, Ford looks surprisingly pleased. I'm gonna go with, were any of these creatures ever dangerous? Oh, extremely. Some were worse. Dangerously annoying. That's not, no. Though Ford seems to find his own comment amusing, he doesn't fail to notice their unease. I do have weapons in case things escalate, so there's no need to worry. I mean, how else are you gonna get the wing off Mothman? You're just gonna be like, hey bro, you gonna rip that off? You gonna rip that off for me? You brought weapons? Not many. I have a stun gun, my fists, and my sharp wit. I feel safer already. Bring your magnetic gun! Oh, boy, I'm gonna ask him about the creatures. It says here that Mothman turns into a bunch of moths. You mentioned gnomes. Will we catch sight of that pterodactyl? Guys, I keep saying it, so about this leprechaun. There are floating eyeballs here. Gravity Falls is home to giant vampire bats. Mentioned a gremlin. It says here that Mothman turns into a bunch of moths. Yes, that's how we'll get the Mothwing. Okay, cool. Then why not use mothballs as repellent? Well, I've never tried. Could the most conventional method be the unconventional one? Or would Mothman be able to overcome its mothly nature and persist? I can keep asking him about the gnomes! Other places have rats, mice, or insects as house pests. We have gnomes. Picture your typical garden gnome, but more disturbing. Leprechaun. Ford groans. You wait for further answer, but that's it. Oh, floating eyeballs. Sounds disconcerting, doesn't it? I once released them in my house by accident and found eyeballs in the most unsuspecting places for months. It says I once released them, not accidental. Nowhere in there did it say accidental. He just did it because. My guests chose not to comment on my choice of house decor. Oh, buddy. Vampire bats, giant fruit bats, actually. They're among the first to teach me not to judge a creature by its reputation. I only realized they were harmless once I'd been bitten by one. Oh no, that still sounds pretty bad. It actually healed quite fast. I attribute that to the health kick I was on soon after. Gremlin? A rare specimen that I've steered clear of when accompanied by others. Though, if you want to see one in person, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to walk into that situation again for the sake of education. Ow! Oh, the pterodactyl. I doubt we'll spot it today, but perhaps we can go birdwatching later if you're interested. You didn't bring your magnet gun? I thought it would be prudent to leave its magnetic fields alone for a while until I have time to optimize it. You see, I was trying to widen the area of magnetic influence, but it's been a while since I last worked with the gun. I need to refamiliarize myself with its inner workings. My guess is I switched a wrong wire or two and instead narrowed the beam. I'd like to see how it works sometime. Really? You know, if you're interested in devices like that, my old research colleague Fiddleford would have more to show you. He's the engineering genius around here. You must have gotten some pretty crazy stuff back then. That's one way to put it. Only took 6 years for me to get in over my head. He takes a silent moment to look away from your gaze, seemingly in bittersweet remembrance. Okay. Suddenly, Ford puts an arm out in caution, slowing his pace. You narrowly manage not to collide into him and take a quick glance around to see... nothing. Look, there. Looking at, buddy? You see what looks like a bundled up plaid shirt moving along the forest floor. Wait, is that a beaver's tail? It looks like a platypus. What are you doing all the way out here? Don't you mean a platypus? Ford shakes his head with a grin. I meant what I said. It's a platypus. A platypus. Ford moves into a crouch but stays at a respectable distance, following the small creature. You watch him, and after a moment, mimic his actions. My knees would never. My knees could never. the squatting, like, scooch? No, I could not. Ford's giving the creature a bright smile, the first of its kind that you've seen since leaving Mabel at the shack. You're a cute one, aren't you? And one of my favorite patterns, too. Ford motions for you to move forward a little more, to the distance he's maintaining. If I were to rate the oddities that live in this forest on a scale of least to most annoying, these little guys would get immunity. They have done nothing wrong, and I appreciate them for it. If I remember from the journal that he wrote, in the journal, it says that they're really aggressive about their nests, so I don't know about that, man. As the two of you watch in quiet appreciation, the platypus ambles into the underbrush and vanishes from view. What a cute little guy. Oh, excuse me. The two of you continue deeper into the forest. The foliage seems denser now, and you look through the treetops for a glimpse of the sun, which has by now dropped low in the sky. It had already been getting late when you left, but you hadn't thought Mothman would be this far out. Almost as though he'd read your mind, Ford answers for you. Mothman is rather reclusive, and as such lives deeper within the forest than bolder creatures like the gnomes. Are you alright? Huh? That is, are you tired at all? I should have asked sooner. It's just been a long time since I've traveled with anyone new. Stanley, tends to speak his mind without my asking. I mean, if anything, I like hiking. This is a nice hike through the woods. This is not hills. This is not my friends taking me to a mountain in Gatineau Park and going, yeah, let's just hike this, man, and me going, oh god, please, no. Like, this is like forest hike. This is pretty easy, but I would be more concerned about the being stuck at night. Weapons or no, being out in the forest at night is not good. I gotta be careful. I have an injury on my arm. Like, I can't. There you go. I got this, like, I got burns, and I accidentally rubbed it on something, and it opened, and angry, and it's fine. I'm worried about getting stuck out here at night. I know these woods like the back of my hand. We'll make it back. At least, I used to. It's been a while. That's more alarming! That's more alarming! You feel the opposite of reassured. I am alarmed! In any case, we still have some time until sunset. Let's wait here in the meantime. Sunset? You mentioned traveling with Stan? I suppose it wouldn't do any harm to tell you. He says that, but the tone of his voice says he's been dying to tell someone for months. Oh, he's been jonesing to talk about this. I've been sailing with Stanley around the world, chasing after hotspots of anomalous activity. He seemed to view it as a vacation, but I saw it as a chance to pick back up on some serious research. Dude, your research almost got the world exploded, like my guy. Chill. I've been rather eager to break the news of what we found to the world, but I must first organize my findings. And if I'm honest, I still need some time to get back in the swing of things. Must be strange to come back home after traveling so long, huh? More than you know? Ford laughs, shaking his head. Behind his glasses, his eyes are downcast, almost sad. You want to ask, but decide to stay silent. The moment the sun touches the horizon through the gaps in the treetops, Ford gestures for the two of you to continue. You hadn't noticed, but you'd been resting within a short distance of a small clearing that holds a cylindrical stone marker. The stone marker bears intricate swirls carved into its surface. Ford reaches into his coat and produces the packet of gum from earlier, opening it and dumping the pieces out onto his palm. Gum? Thanks. Unsure of why you came all the way out here to unwrap gum at sunset, you accept a stick of gum. Ford puts the remaining gum in his coat breast pocket. He unwraps the now empty gum packet to reveal that it was hiding a small piece of parchment, folded up to act as lining. He smooths it out against the stone, holding it under the deep orange-red light of the sunset. You step closer to look over Ford's shoulder. The parchment holds a detailed drawing of the swirls carved into the stone, documenting every crack on the surface. As you watch, a golden cursive unfolds itself across the page, seemingly fueled by the sunset's warm light. What? Ford reads the words as they appear. such a place the Mothman doth rest, but please do not disturb his nest. If kindness be something thou bereft. Ford lifts the parchment a little higher to prevent his shadow from obscuring the rest of the line. Follow thy nature and turn left. Such a place the Mothman doth rest, but please do not disturb his nest. If kindness be something thou bereft, follow thy nature and turn left. What? So if kindness... What? Oh, no. Stanza's so much easier than this. I have to use my brain? Okay. So this is clearly directions to where the Mothman is. I'm not looking up the answers to this. I'm going to do this on my own. Such a place the Mothman doth rest, but please do not disturb his nest. If kindness be something thou bereft, follow thy nature and turn left. I think it's the if kindness be something thou bereft. That's making me trip up, because, like, bereft means that it's, like, something you lost, or something, or, like, bereft is something that you're lacking, or something that, like, yeah, it's, like, almost like a sense of loss, more than, like, a thing that you've lost, because, like, that's why the bereaved, people who've lost those that they've loved in their life are considered the bereaved. They're bereft of the life of the loved ones around them. I think that means we should turn... So if you're kind, you won't disturb his nest. And if you don't have kindness, you should turn left. So we should turn right? I think we turn right. Oh, well, I did my best, man. Something tells me that's not right. Well, then I think we turn left, man. I think so, Sherry. We press on. That was difficult for me. My brain's not... Like, there's nothing in here. What was that? That whole thing made no sense. Left leads you to a dimly lit cave, which Ford says he remembers well, except last time he was here it was pitch black since he arrived in the middle of the night. From its depths, you hear the faint sound of dripping water echoing off the cave's shadow. The cave shadow. I'm gonna try that one again. Here we go. From its depths, you hear the faint sound of dripping water echoing off the cave's shadow-shrouded walls. You slow as your eyes attempt to adjust to the low light. Ford pauses in front of you, reaching into his coat for something. Hold on, I have a flashlight in here somewhere. This cave has never received much natural light, you see, and, He rummages further, and you see a couple dice, the pad of paper from earlier, and a quill. He has some custom pocket work going on in there, too, and you bet one of his coat's inner pockets has a pen protector in it. Or a quill protector. I have, literally, in my desk, I have a flashlight. Like, I have a flashlight at my desk. I have a flashlight by my bed in case the power goes off. We had, like, no power at my house for, like, a week and a half. But I think it was, like, last year or the year before. Time is wonky to me. So I've got, like, I've got a couple, like, battery-powered lanterns. Like, I'm so full up on portable light sources. I would probably have a flashlight in my pocket. Like, when I go camping, I bring, like, so many flashlights. So I don't know why I wouldn't bring one for, like, a proper hike. Like, at the end of the day. Ah, here we are. Oops. Here we are, at last. Allow me to. Darn, out of batteries. Wait, I think I have one. You pull out your phone and turn on its flashlight. The light is small, but it does its job. Huh. You saved our hides there, Sherry. I was about to pull out a matchbook. I don't... No. With your light guiding the way, you and Ford move further into the cave, which yawns wide around you. It isn't until the sliver of natural light from the entrance disappears that Ford speaks again. It's been years since I've been here. Decades even at this point. But I'll always remember the eye bats as one of my first discoveries when I arrived at Gravity Falls. How did you find them in the first place? One got into my house, you see. I was making breakfast one morning and one managed to find my cereal box. When I poured the cereal into the bowl, it came fluttering out, agitated, like it belonged there. The nerve. He still sounds so indignant, even years later, that you laugh. I wanted to contain it for further study, but unfortunately it managed to get away. As I thought about it afterwards, its people had constricted against the light, unfamiliar of the bright light in the kitchen. So either it's nocturnal or it lives in the deepest, darkest cave in Gravity Falls. I found them easily after that. Did you manage to catch one? Somewhat. I came running through this cave with a butterfly net and my wits. I brought a working flashlight that time. They all hid in dark corners. Once I turned the flashlight off, they flocked to me. I caught 18 of them that day, but it reminded me of the stealth uses of the rapid sound of clicking claws against stones. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to read. The rapid sound of clicking claws against stone startles you, a shiver running up your spine. The dark. You turn off your light, Ford taps your shoulder and gestures for you to keep moving forward. No, like if we're in a dark cave and I've turned off the flashlight, we are blind. It takes several moments for your eyes to adjust to even the dimmest lights. There's no way we're seeing squat. Eventually, the narrow passage widens into a large room. The darkness shrouds the source of the dripping water from view, but as your eyes adjust, you squint to see a strange winged shadow. A shadow with eyes that glow red in near darkness like rubies. Your breath catches in your throat as the realization comes over you. Ford is apparently fairly close to you in the room. You finally speaks a few inches from your shoulder. You catch the shadow of his arms swing out in a wide arc like he's introducing you to... Sherry, I'd like for you to meet the Mothman. He whispers, but even in the dark, you see him grinning excitedly at you. Ford looks between you and the Mothman, apparently hoping for a dramatic reaction. Your speechlessness seems to satisfy him. Don't worry, it hasn't noticed us yet.
Now, listen.
I was not prepared for J.K. Simmons' voice. Here's the plan. You make contact with Mothman and he pulls out a butterfly net and a large lidded jar. Now where that one came from within his coat of mysteries is lost to you. We'll capture one of the 100 moths that compromise it. I love it. Wait, I get to touch Mothman? The Mothman? It makes me think of that, like, there's a screen grab of, like, a Discord chat, and it's like, how did you break your wrist? Wrong answers only, and it's, the slapping the West Virginia Mothman's juicy ass. It's like, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. This is not a confessional. I don't want it. Jesus. Everything about this reeks of danger. Like, I've done some dumb stuff as a child. This is a lot, even as an adult. Yeah. You're hitting with a butterfly net? Serious? I'm gonna go with the touching the Mothman. That seems the most appropriate. I don't like moths. I would probably actually be hyperventilating and dying. This is like, this isn't real and it's like freaking me out. Okay. Yes, and it turns into 100 black with witch moths. It's like experiencing a swarm of locusts. Surprising when you're not expecting it. I don't want it. No. Remember, even just a light touches stuff. Can I throw a rock from a corner and cry? Oh god, I'm gonna throw up. Jesus Christ. Oh, you seal yourself, awaiting Ford's signal. He waves his hand to coax you forward, and then it's up to you to decide how to, well, make contact. Good, we got, like, the battle music, because this is the Pokemon battle of my life. Run around back to his blind spot. Running would set off, but we're gonna approach it with stealth. You tiptoe towards the Mothman, remembering Ford's comments on the dark and trying to channel your inner stealth skills. Of course, that's the moment your phone decides to start blasting Taking Over Midnight by Ampersandra. You're confused before remembering that Mabel added her number to your contacts and must have made that her custom ringtone. Mothman turns at the noise and screeches, but before you can barrel into it, the creature explodes into 100 moths, fluttering around you, getting stuck in your shirt, skittering around your face, surrounding you in coffee hell. Oh my god. Oh, I'm taking, like, the world's hottest shower after this. I'm gonna melt my skin off. Oh, I don't like it. I really don't like it. Your task accomplished, Ford rushes into the large swarm of moths, waving the butterfly net with a few unsuccessful swipes. He tries spotting the more aggressive ones away, but there's too many. I'm gonna, like, vomit. I'm gonna vomit. They like the light. Lamp. You grab your phone and quickly switch the light on, running to Ford's side and holding it up high. You even attempt to call them over, despite knowing they don't respond to sound. I mean, I'm pretty sure they do feel the sound, but it's not the same way that you or I respond to sound. Before long, they all crowd around the phone. Oh god, that means they're on my hand. I'm gonna cry. This is the episode that's gonna make me cry. I'm having a bad time. I'm having a bad time. Ooh. The sight of the light flickering and reflecting off of so many small wings would be somewhat captivating if you hadn't just been in the midst of them. Ford puts the butterfly net back away and, jar in hand, carefully scoops one of the moths up. Well, that could have gone better, but we succeeded nonetheless. As Ford pockets the jar, you turn off the light. With no light and no threat to focus in on, the cloud disperses. That was amazing! Ford laughs, brushing dust and dirt off his trench coat. Oh, we're covered in, like, the, gross moth wing powder. I'm, like, actually gonna vomit. I don't like throwing up. This is hard for me. This is difficult. You can say that. Our completed repellent is within sight. Let's head back. Ford turns to leave the cave. He looks calm and content. You, on the other hand, are buzzing with energy under an adrenaline rush. Should you go for a high five? Yeah, high five, man. The adrenaline high is, me, I'm catatonic on the floor. My heart is fails. I'm probably lying in a pool of my own vomit and tears. Like, I'll high five him. Oh, he's so cute! Oh, God. This does not make it better. This was not worth it. This is not worth it. You raise your hand in a universally understood offer of a high five. Ford pauses, then grins, high-fiving you. Or rather, 6. You know what? I think I'm done. You know what? I think I'm done. I'm gonna save. I'm so done right now. I'm so done, guys. I need to cleanse myself. I need to cry in the shower. Oh, excuse me. That was not great. That was what one would call bad. Everything about that. I hope you guys liked this. The beginning part was 10 out of 10. The end part was like minus 10 out of 10. I'm like laughing like haha hee hee because I don't know how else to respond. Like, legitimately, somebody at work captured a moth one time in a clear plastic cup. And they kept it for me. They kept it for me in a spot where I could see it. I swear to God, I screamed so loudly and I scrambled so far back. The thing was in a container. It couldn't touch me. But just the sight of it set me off. And like, there are times where I have to like go into work and I work really early in the morning and moths like light, and there's a giant light right outside the door, and like I will sometimes like walk around like this with like my head down, and I'll like bang on the door, and I like refuse to look because like it's too early in the morning for somebody to be screaming in the streets. And also like I'd like to have a good day. I enjoy having a good day. Moths are not included in my good day. The Mothman statue in, I want to say it's like West Virginia or whatever, that's hilarious. That's spooky. That's funny. That's somebody who really wants to, you know, do things with monsters. Congratulations. Fun. The moths are a big no. Like, for serious no. Like, ugh. Anyways, if you liked this, let me know down in the comments. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully with no mods. Bye.